So, taking a little time just to find a meditation position that's right for you today. And seeing if we can just land in this moment, in this present moment. Seeing if we can absorb the relative stillness, the relative quiet of this moment. Whatever chattiness or busyness that might be in the mind, whatever activity, there's also this stillness, this peace in this moment. And it can help to anchor the attention by bringing the awareness to the body itself. The weight of the body resting on whatever surface we might be resting upon. Having this sense of being held. And we always practice with a sense of compassion to ourselves. So being aware of our body's wisdom, our body's intelligence. Knowing that if we need to move a little or support ourselves in other ways, this is always okay. Practicing with this compassion, but also this gentle discipline, knowing why it is we've turned up today, and having a commitment to the practice. And you may find it helpful to anchor your attention in the body itself, the whole of the body, or you may find a particular place that works well for you. This may be the hands, maybe the feet, or you may prefer to anchor the attention on the breath, just keeping the breath company. So sensing the body is real, is visceral, having an awareness of the hardness of the body through the skeleton, through the bones, and also the softness, the fat, the muscles, the tendons, the organs. We might also like to establish this grace, this dignity in our practice. And this can sometimes arise from the elevation of the spine or the alignment of the spine if you're lying. And if the mind is being very active, just always gently leading it back to one of your chosen anchors. This is the practice. Noticing that the mind is busy and gently escorting it back to your anchor. And if we're meeting any pain in our experience, You can always remember that pain is not a punishment, simply a manifestation of sensations, circumstance. And that similarly, pleasure is not a reward. Again, it is simply a manifestation of sensations and circumstance. And we can always have this sense of release, this sense of letting go with the breath, with the exhalation. Softening any resistance. Allowing ourselves to rest in this breathing body. The body as an anchor, the breath as an anchor. Just having this sense of grounding, sense of stability. And just after the next breath cycle, just beginning to bring this short grounding practice to a close, perhaps with a little movement in the body. So just when we're ready and in our own time, coming to the second part of the practice, which is going to be a practice on space. And so conditioned and accustomed to noticing objects rather than space. So this meditation is really concerned with the relationship between the object, which will be mostly us, and the space in which we exist. So coming to the body, the sense of the real visceral body. And moving our awareness to the outside edge of the body, where the body meets space. Instead of resting the awareness in the body itself, where we're going to rest our awareness in the space, being aware of the space above you, to the sides of you, underneath you maybe. And each room will have a very particular feel of space, depending on what objects are within that room and the relationship they have to each other. So having a sense of your space, space within your room. And perhaps just being curious as to whether it feels different to rest the attention, the awareness in space itself, rather than solely in the body. And we might like to widen the lens even further, taking the idea of space beyond the building into the sky, the atmosphere, having a sense of space as broad, as expansive, limitless. And we're doing this in an embodied way, so we're still aware of the weight of the body in the chair. We're not having a fantasy of space, we're not getting lost in space. We're just allowing our awareness to reside in the space rather than in the sensations. Just being curious, is this possible for you to do this? Resting in space itself can often really help to declutter the mind. Perhaps lessening our attachment to thoughts, to objects. And let's move the awareness now to the breath and noticing the space that's contained within the breath itself. This pause, this space as we exhale and before we inhale again, the space between the breath. And also being aware of the space through which the breath travels, the nasal cavity, the trachea, the bronchus, the lungs, all of the space that we need in order to breathe. And just moving the awareness to sound. And once more, instead of resting with the sounds, just noticing the space between sounds. The sound of my voice, the sounds in your room or perhaps externally. Music, poetry, conversation. None of this makes any sense at all without the space. Space is an integral part of our lives. And seeing if we can rest in what's not there, paying attention to the space rather than to matter or to senses. And always remembering, if this is feeling a little too esoteric, that we can return to the grounding of the body, grounding the anchor of the breath. Making this experience comfortable, safe for you. And moving the awareness now to thought. Just noticing, am I having thoughts? And perhaps seeing if we can create this sense of space around thoughts, between thoughts. This lovely image of the mind like the wide open sky. Perhaps noticing what happens to thoughts when we bring this curiosity, this attention to them. Does it increase the space? Being aware of space really helps us to respond rather than react. We may find some peace, some freedom in resting in the space itself. Similarly, if we're noticing any particular sensations in the body, perhaps some pain, some discomfort, then we can also see if we can sense space around the sensations. Is this possible? They're generally not a single block of sensation. So just bringing some space some sense of space to this. We have so much profound space within us, around us, beyond us. Just tuning into all the areas, all the places that we can sense space in our experience in this moment. And the Buddha teaches us to develop a mind that is vast like space, where experiences both pleasant and unpleasant can appear and disappear without conflict, struggle, or harm, resting in a mind like the vast sky. And I'll end the practice with a short poem called Meditation Prayer. Wise silence of this place, soul body where no words cut, where peace is soaring endlessly, effortlessly, where you are always enough. Breath of homecoming, this faith all worlds share. Small God of breath, let us meet through the breath where our lives befriend air. Just allowing the words to resonate or to drop into your experience. And just slowly just bringing this practice to a close in your own time and in your own way.